sounds, music, and color may have much to do with creating the proper vibrations about individuals that are mentally unbalanced, physically deficient, or ill in body and mind. Of the many recognized effects of music, the most widely accepted is its ability to change the moods of others. We respond positively to music, which produces the feelings we desire. Edward Benjamin of New Orleans has established a foundation for restful music. The commissioned composers to write tranquil music to bridge the active minds in the periods of the day with the quiet time of sleep. Every change in man must be preceded by a change in mood or temperament. We find the entity was in the Atlantean land when the people were entering into other lands for their preservation of their activities through those periods when destructions were coming to the land. The entity then was among those who were the leaders into that which is known as the Egyptian land, bringing with same much of what may have been from the electron music, where color, vibration, activities make for toning, same with the emotions of individuals or people that may make for their temperaments being changed. And same may be applied by the entity in those associations with what may be called the temperaments of individuals, where they are possessed, as it were. By the influences from without, and those that are ill from diseases that have become of nature or vibratory influences within the body as to set themselves as a vibration in the body. The entity may make such tones, colors, sounds, activities as to be very beneficial to those whom the entity may desire to aid. Often there must be an outlet for the expression of a mood before it can be changed. Music may provide such an outlet. The influences through Venus, as well as Uranus and Neptune, make for the ability of the entity to play upon string instruments, especially the viola or the cello, that had been or may be channels through which the entity may find an outlet for its moods of ecstasy, either emotional of the body or of the soul in the airs of same that partake often of the mysteries of nature and its influences upon the soul as well as the mind of men, as well as the outlet for the periods of sadness or depression. Early man was aware of the significance of this power and used it to control groups of people to a specific end. We find even today the use of the accelerated drum rhythms to excite frenzy and passion. A chanted word or a short phrase keeps a group cohesive and brave. The moment that the chant is stopped, each participant again becomes conscious of his individuality. In the war dances of the early American Indians, where the rhythm which led to killing and massacre, the stamping of feet and chanting awakens the deep animal vibration within. It is in an actual jarring of the creative energy in its crudest and most basic form. Life in its manifestation is vibration. Electricity is vibration. But vibration that is creative is one thing. Vibration that is destructive is another. Yet they may be from the same source. Eventually, we come to realize that man has the ability to exercise choice. It is only at the instance of desire that passions are allowed to take over, and man forfeits his divine gift of free will. Jesus said that man is not defiled by what goes into the body, but by what comes out. In this instant, it is the overt response rather than the sound which is important. Dances which emphasize hip movements stimulate the rhythms of procreation. This is an example of a rhythm started by choice, impelled by creative energy and preconditions by the mind. The compelling mood of procreation is controlled in the dance by a shifting of the hip rhythm to a sideways movement. This excitement, pleasure, and ability to relate to the basic rhythm are learned and stimulated by dances such as the hula, the rumba, and the like. The readings tell us that music in relation to these rhythms should be the study of everyone because they are intended for the continuation of the race. Any stimulation which causes the forces of creativity to be expressed at the gonad level for reasons other than the creation of the level for a new channel of life is out of harmony with the initial cause. As indicated, music is that which appeals to the latent and creative forces within the entity, for music alone may span that sphere. From the spheres of activity to the realm of the divine, music is as a destructive or creative force, depending upon that to which it appeals and the influence of the individual. The entity developed that which latter becomes the chant, which to many would drive away what was called the evil eye, the evil influence, and, with their variations, many of those incantations of the savages of today, many of the beautiful martial pieces of music, many of the beautiful waltzes that give the rhythm to the body, many of the various characters of music used today have arisen from the efforts of this entity. Yet many, of course, were added to, many were defamed, many were carried into various forces not intended in the beginning. But the entity in the present may enter into the manner of expression in the music which is best bring healing and strength to the body, to the desire towards spiritual things. These be the channels through which the entity may gain the most. Although the inclination to feel that the body builds slowly and laboriously, music illustrates the rapidity of reaction between the mind and mood, or between choice and effect. It is the consent of the mind which allows music to create a mood which conditions the activity of the body. Moods of depression, sadness, and inadequacy may be altered by music. And whenever there are the periods of depression, or the feeling low or forsaken, play music, especially stringed instruments of every nature. These will enable the entity to span that gulf as between pessimism and optimism. The entity's music may be the means of arousal and awakening the best of hope, the best of desire, the best in the heart and soul of those who will do listen. Is not music the universal language, both for those who would give praise and those who are sorry in their hearts and souls? Is it not a means, a manner of universal expression? Thus may the greater hope come. The Bible suggests a remedy for these moods of unhappiness and depression, stating, "Take," quote, "the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness," end quote. We find the injunction of singing praises repeatedly in the Bible and in the readings. Then, sing a lot about the work and everything the body does. Hum, sing to self, not to be heard by others, but to be heard by self. If, when we are in the spirit of heaviness, we change the spirit to one of thanksgiving and praise, creative energy will expand and underscore the spirit we choose to express.